How we doing, y'all? Today we're gonna talk about why does the gangster image and the thug image in the black community? Let's talk about that. What brought me to this topic, it's they have the Ti and the Son situation going on, and everybody's like, "Oh, he grew up in a silver spoon," and all this other stuff, and it's like, guys, as a black community, why do we shame the people? Why do we shame people? Because I don't know Ti, so I don't know how he grew up, but why do we shame people that grew up in good environments, even if he didn't? Why do we why do we shame people? Why do we clown people that have a good upbringing? Why do we expect every male in our community to be a thug or a gangster? Think about it. Most men in the black community are not accepted unless they are thugs or gangsters or they present themselves that way. You if you don't present yourself as a gangster or a rough guy, sagging pants, the women, the black women in the community will assume that you like white girls simply because you don't degrade yourself, simply because you are versatile. You're not only able to walk in the hood, but you can walk other places as well. You can walk in a business. You can walk into a meeting. You can walk into a banquet. You can do things that the average, you know, person in that community doesn't aspire to do, because what is aspired to do is to be ratchet, to be a thug, to destroy your community, destroy your fellow man, woman, and that is what is expected in the community as a black person. So they're making fun of Ti's son simply because they everybody assumes that he just lived in a great environment, and majority of the time that isn't the case when you're growing up in a black community. Just think about it, and it's very ironic that Ti made an entire movie about him 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 not wanting to deal with a girl named Nunu because she wasn't from the streets. How ironic is that? He breaks up with a girl that is acting like she's hood because she knows if she didn't act that way, she wouldn't be accepted by her peers, by the people that look like her. And then Ti turns around, he figures out that this girl is well off, and her family has money. Now he's upset with her. I mean, come on. What are we trying to say to our community? Then we get mad at people that, you know, we expect everybody in the black community not to snitch. Like everybody in the black community is part of a gang or in the streets. It's not that case. It's not the case. This stuff isn't even cool. Hello? There's nothing to brag about when it comes to being a gangster or a thug. Literally nothing. Uh, it is just terrible because not only do our community look at each other like, okay, you're supposed to be a gangster, you're supposed to be a thug, but people outside the community look at us like that. And that's our fault. That is our fault. You know what I'm saying? That is black people's fault that we are looked at like that. Because we look at each other like that. Think about it, men and women with young boys. How do you think he's going to be able to attract a young lady? If you have a young black man, how do you think he's going to attract a black woman without presenting himself as some type of thug or gangster? Really, really sit with yourself, because a lot of y'all are going to be like, I don't know why my son wants to be a thug. I don't know why he wants to be a gangster, why he dresses like, why he sags his pants. Well, what does our women, our young girls, and our adult women, what are they attracted to? They only accept that a decent man that isn't degrading himself if he's from another race. Because they think if a man isn't acting like a gangster or a thug or a gang member, he's faking it. And that's not the case. We really have to think about what we're doing here, guys. We really do. Most black women date thugs. And that's just the fact. Young men find that out. And it's very unfortunate that people don't want to talk about that. Most people I know, most guys I know had to go do some type of street stuff, change themselves into the street persona in order to get the women. If they weren't already, if they didn't have the sports going, they had to turn themselves into some type of menace to society in order to get women. It's very unfortunate, and I think this is something we need to talk about. We need to stop ignoring it. Because it's just going to continue to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse. You can't expect your son to want to be anything else if the women aren't checking for him. They learn this at a young age. At some point, we need to step back and either correct ourselves as adults. Yes, we do need to do that. And we need to correct the minds of what we accept as cool. Because this is the stuff that was portrayed as cool when we were young. So let's try to change that dynamic. You know, everybody isn't a gangster, everybody isn't a thug, and majority of the people who are acting like they're gangster and thugs, they're not. They're not that at all. They're just trying to secure a woman, a black woman.